Hey guys, what's up? Nadio Risi here with you today from Secret Life Success. Today I'm so excited because actually I want to talk to you about the knowing doing gap. So if you never heard about this, it's simply like we all know what we should be doing, but in some way we are not doing what we know we should be doing. I'm gonna tell you again. We know what we should be doing, but in some way we are not doing what we know we should be doing. And this can be applied in every area of your life, in your personal life, in your work, in your relationships, in your family, in your love, anything, everything that runs your life, this principle can be applied in your life. Now, why we are not doing something that we know we should be doing? Because in some way we feel stuck. In some way we feel that we are going out of our comfort zone. So how do we fill this gap? How do we bridge this gap? So to do that, we can do it through repetition. Repetition is the mother of all the skills. So to let you understand what I'm talking about, I'm gonna explain you shortly. I'm not gonna go too much into details about this, but I'm gonna explain you shortly how the mind works. So you should know that our mind is formed by the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Now, the conscious mind is the thinking mind. The subconscious mind is the emotional part of the mind. So everything we do in our life is run by the subconscious mind. So is where all the programs that are installed in our mind are based. Is where you build your self-image. You know, the way you see yourself is because you create that image in your subconscious mind. And then is also in the subconscious mind, you can also find all the paradigms. If you never heard about paradigms, it's simply a multitude of habits. Think about it. The way you speak, like not the way you speak, sorry, the language you speak, whatever you are in the world, it doesn't matter. But you speak that language, that's because of repetition. That's because you listen to that language over and over and over, and now you speak that language. The habits that you have, the things that you do, the way how you do things, everything you do is because of habits. So how to overcome again how to fill that gap from knowing and doing? So again, as long as we created in our mind all our comfort zone, and we create comfort zones everywhere. If you think about it, we create comfort zone in the gym. Think about it. Maybe you go to the gym, and then you sit in a specific place in the changing room, and you go there the first time. The second time you go there, and then the third time you go to the same place. And what's gonna happen? You create your comfort zone. And if someone is sitting in that place, you get angry, or maybe you get mad, or maybe you get pissed, but it's not your place just because your mind created that comfort zone. And so why are we not doing what we know we should be doing? That's because we go through something that is called terror barrier. You know, terror barrier is something that when we try to step outside from the comfort zone that we created, so we need to do something different from what we were doing before, right? So when you start to do that, you start to feel inside your body, you start to feel doubt, fear, anxiety. And what's gonna happen? That once you try to hit this terror barrier, so here's where you are and here's where you want to be. So where you want to be is like the life you imagine, like the freedom, like the money that you want, the relationships that you want, everything that you want and you wish is behind the terror barrier, right? And once we try to step out from the comfort zone, we're gonna hit through this terror barrier because it's something that scares us, it's something that we fear, but we know that behind the terror barrier there is the life that we want. So when we step outside this comfort zone, we're gonna take different actions and we're gonna feel uncomfortable about it. And we hit to the barrier the first time, and then of course, like, you start to feel like you're doing something different, so you don't feel comfortable, and you're like, maybe I don't know if I want to do this anymore, because sometimes it can be, it can hurt. I'm not saying physically, but like, it's something that you do differently, so it's something that you feel uncomfortable. And what's gonna happen? This is something that is a process. You cannot avoid that. Like, if you hit the terror barrier once, your subconscious mind, it starts to tell you like you're doing something different. So it's trying to, with the survival instinct that we have, is trying to pull you back, and it's trying to get you back, bring you back to the comfort zone that you created. But you know that to live the life that you want, you have to step out from the comfort zone. You have to do something different. So what's gonna happen, that once you make a decision is when you decide something and you don't even consider any other way that you're not gonna make it happen. So if you burn the bridges behind you, that's when you make a decision, a real decision. So once you hit the terror barrier once, you start to feel like this fear, this doubts and anxiety and all these things that makes you feel uncomfortable. But then through repetition, you do it again, and then you're like, you do it again, you do it again. If you never give up, if you keep doing, if you keep pushing, and if you keep doing these different things that you know you should be doing, guess what? You're gonna hit and you're gonna break this terror barrier. And finally, you achieve the life that you have imagined, right? So think about it. Every day in your life, probably, I mean, if you're always pushing yourself if you're always stepping out from your comfort zone, that's great. I mean, that's really, really great. But if every day you are procrastinating, or maybe you are feeling stuck because you know that you should be doing something, but you're not doing it, in this way, when you go to bed in the night, you feel that frustration, you feel that feeling of, I don't know how to say it, but you have that bad feeling, you have that frustration inside you that you know you're not living the life that you want, right? So when you start to apply all this principle, and all through repetition, first of all, you have to understand what you really want in your life. But once you understand it, you have to take these massive actions that even if you feel uncomfortable with, you have to do it anyway. Feel the fear, do it anyway. You know, once there was Joseph Campbell's, that he said, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. I wrote down this because I think it's so true. Like, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. And this is, in some way, behind the terror barrier, there is the cave, and this is the cave you fear to enter. But when you go inside the cave, when you go behind this terror barrier, this is something that is where you're gonna find the treasure. Now, this knowing doing gap can be applied to anything. Like, you know they should be doing something at work to get that promotion, but in some way you're not doing it. You know that you should be doing something in your family, or maybe with your relationships, you know, something that was scaring me and I really wanted to do it, but I was so scared. It's something that's really simple, and I notice it's really common. Like, think about it. It's so easy to say I love you to a completely stranger. When I say completely stranger, I say can be your husband or your wife. If you think about it, in the beginning they are strangers, right? But we feel comfortable at a certain point to say I love you to them, but it's so hard to say I love you to our parents, or to our family, or to our beloved ones. And I remember when I was home, and I was like, I didn't want to live with regrets. I didn't want to live with what if. So one day I just went to my parents and I was like, I love you. You know, in the beginning, the reaction was a little bit that weird feeling. But guess what? The sensation, the feeling after, it was magic. It was beautiful. And after that day, like, I had no more fear to say to them, I love you. Like, I really love them. I really love you. And every time I say, ah man, the sensation is like, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I don't know if this ever happened to you, but if you are not doing this, I really ask you to do it, because the feeling and the sensation is simply amazing. At the same time, I remember when I told you I was working as an accountant for 8 years. And then when I realized that that was not the way, the life I was imagining, I just decided to leave, and I just decided to move to Hong Kong. And of course it was something that it was scaring me. It was something that I feel scared because it was something new. It's something that I never did before in my life. And guess what? Like, first of all, I told you, everybody told me I was crazy. Everybody told me like, what are you doing? But deep inside myself, I knew, and I hope, and I know that deep inside yourself, you know what you should be doing. And I felt this feeling of leaving. And even if there was something that, you know, I had to hit this terror barrier. I didn't know what was behind, but I knew that everything I wanted was behind this terror barrier. And that's why I took the leap of faith. I took that courage, because it takes courage to do, to step out from your comfort zone and to do what you really want to do. It takes courage. It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would do that, right? But you need to have courage enough. You need to take that leap of faith and do it. Do it anyway. Feel the fear, do it anyway. Again. And then when I moved to Hong Kong, of course, it wasn't easy from the beginning. But then I spent 6 years there and I felt amazing. Like, all the experiences, everything. Like, I knew that I had to do this step in my life, and I had the courage to do it. Beside, everybody else was telling me, like, why you're going there? You have your job, you have your stable job. Why you have to step out from your comfort zone? And this is why I was raising my frequencies, and I was doing something different from everybody was doing it. So I took that leap of faith, I took that courage, I took the actions over and over and over and over, and then I achieved what I wanted. Then after 6 years in Hong Kong, again, like, I felt in some way that I was losing the passion. I was losing, I'm not saying myself, but I was losing like my direction. That's why, again, like, once I settled down in Hong Kong after 6 years, I knew that I had to be doing something, and I took another leap of faith, and that's why I moved now to Bali, Indonesia. And it's something that, again, all my family, all my friends, they told me, you crazy, like, you don't want to settle down. The point is, like, I don't want to settle down for something that I know I don't deserve. I know I deserve more. Like, you should know that you deserve more. Like, we live in this world and we only have one life. So we should be doing what excite us the most, what we do love what we love the most, right? So I hope you understand what I'm talking about, and I hope you understand that to make it happen, you have to be willing to do something different. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy, but if you know deep inside yourself that this is not the way, this is not the life that you want to live, you know deep inside that you have to be doing something to change that. What you see on the outside is always a reflection of what you have on the inside. You know, a lot of people, they're waiting for change from outside, from external factors. But in reality, you only can change your lifestyle, your income, your life, your relationship, everything around you on the outside. You can only change it by the inside. And you can do that by learning every day, by studying successful people, by reading every day, and doing things that successful people are doing. In this way, you can create your successful life and the life that you always imagine. So let's do that. Take that action that you know you should be doing, you should be take, and take it. Hit the terror barrier 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, over and over again. And then you realize that the more you do, the more you build the self-confidence, you build the courage, you start to change your paradigms, you start to change your habits and all the things that you do. And you see that when you step out from your comfort zone, you see that the magic happens, and you wonder how you could have lived any other way. So successful people, they know this gap, they know the difference between knowing and doing, and they overcome that fear, they fill that gap. Do you want to be successful, or do you want to be failure? Or live in that comfort zone that you know is not the best for you, and you are just trying to accept it? Which one what you want to be?